And welcome in as we've got plenty going on in the NBA here tonight. Some great matchups, Clippers, Suns. We've got the Bulls. We've got the Knicks. We've got the Bucks. We've got Indiana. We've got a whole lot to break down for you. See if we can't find a couple of games that we like. And we're going to do it, of course, with three of our favorites here at WagerTalk when it comes to the NBA. Nobody better than Skee Prophet in the house. RC. Ronald Kabang here, as is Mr. Rob Vino. Ready to roll, gentlemen, here on a loaded card in the association. And no better place to start than with our good friends, the Contrarian Gods here, who have a interesting pick tonight, guys. They're taking a look at the Chicago Bulls, taking on the New York Knicks, getting 9.5 after they absolutely got boat raced in about 4.5 minutes of that game against the Sixers last night. Good news is the game was over, so they didn't really have to put a whole lot of effort into it. Bad news is the new look Knicks seem to be rolling here, but none of that matters. The great equalizer, Skee, that 9.5 points here in favor of the Bulls. Are you buying the Contrarian Gods, or are you selling here tonight in this game?
Well, my look on this game, before I even know it's the contrarian play of the day, I would look a little bit more towards the underdog. I wouldn't go so far to say the Knicks are rolling. I mean, they just changed up the roster a little bit. You lost two key pieces and you add in a new one. I think it's going to take a little bit of time to get some consistency with OG in the lineup. They've only covered two of their last 6 games, and Chicago has been a money-making machine against the spread. And it hasn't mattered who's been in the lineup. It started for one when Zach LaVine got out of the lineup, because you actually have guys who want to play with each other and be there in Chicago. So I know we're missing a few more bodies. They should at least have Kobe White back out there tonight. And I just think you'll have a motivated group. And they've covered, 12 out of 16. They're going to be the team who's playing the better defense, because the Knicks haven't been playing any lately. So I don't see the Knicks blowing them out. I think the Bulls can keep it respectable.
Got to tell you, RC, nobody's been in tune here and sync with the Contrarian Gods more than you here. So are you feeling it here tonight? You willing to lay 9.5 with the Knicks, or are you with the Contrarian Gods on this one?
No, I like what the Contrarian Gods are seeing in this one. It makes sense to me. I think it's a nice value spot. This is, to me, an overinflated line. You got the Knicks, who won their first game with OG, and the Bulls on the second leg of back-to-back road games. Obviously, they looked terrible yesterday. But if we look at recent form other than yesterday, I feel like the Bulls actually have been the better team, especially on the defensive side of the ball. If we look at the last 15 games, the Bulls are actually 7th in the league in defensive rating, while the Knicks are 29th. And that's the reason why they went and got OG, right? They wanted to shore up that defense, especially with Mitchell hurt. If you go back to the Knicks game against the Wolves, yeah, they limited the Knicks to 106 or whatever, but the Wolves to 106. But the Wolves still shot 47% from the field. They still shot nearly 40% from three. The problem for the Wolves that game was they allowed too many points off turnovers, and offensive rebounds as well. So second chance points. I think they shot 16 or 60, between 16 to 20 shot attempts. And that's the reason why they didn't score 106. It's not like their field goal percentage was terrible. So for me, I do see that, I feel like this is a value spot here for the Bulls. My numbers have it closer to 7, 6.5 to 7. I can agree with the Contrarian Gods on this one. I like the Bulls to stay within that number as well.
Oh, great, Vino. All right, Rob, voice of reason. You know how this works. If we sweep in favor of the Contrarian Gods, we got to run and play the Knicks. I'm scared. But the reality is, it's a lot of damn points to trust the Knicks to cover by here. Are you buying them tonight, or are you with the Contrarian Gods?
Oh, Joe. Can we split the Contrarian Gods in half just so that I don't have to be the third guy to agree? I feel like I want to make the Knicks first half a thing again. It hasn't been a thing really this year for the most part. But I think that OG Anunoby trade sparked a little bit of life. You read all the comments coming out of the Knicks locker room, and especially out of the head coach's mouth, Tom Thibodeau, who listed about 7 things that Anunoby did well on defense. Surprise, surprise, because nobody else on the Knicks wants to play a heck of a lot of defense, like Skee said. So I feel like they might come out of the chute kind of quick here, which would lead me to Knicks first half -5. But again, I'm with the other two guys. You want to trust them to win by 9.5. That's a little bit much to ask here. I do have my best bet on this game, so I won't talk total as we speak, but I will say that you might be able to get both ends of this. I do think Knicks first half is probably the best way to look at it, but that's not what this segment's about. So I'm going to agree with the contrarian gods and take Bulls plus 9.5.
Well, that's a dangerous thing to do, isn't it? But it is across the board. It's a sweep here with the in agreement with the Chicago Bulls. All right, let's take a look here at a featured matchup here tonight as we welcome those of you joining us live here on this Wednesday now, January 3rd. Happy New Year to you as we've got plenty of NBA action here tonight. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so. And, of course, hit that thumbs up if you're joining us. We certainly appreciate the support. Let's take a look here, guys, out west with the red-hot Clippers taking on them Phoenix Suns tonight. 3.5 is what this line has been. There were some questions as far as whether or not Durant with the hamstring was going to go, if he was available. But, Skee, and I know your love for the Clippers here. I know you got mad love for them. The hell with the Lakers, you all Clippers. But tell me here, man, is this a freight train we want to get in front of right now?
You know, last week I was thinking about it, and I saw a bunch of home games coming up for the Phoenix Suns. I saw they were healthy, and I thought that it would be a situation where they could go on a streak like how the Clippers had gone on a streak after being pretty terrible. Suns still 3-13 against the spread their last 16 games, and are going to be without Kevin Durant tonight.
Yeah.
And I don't know how we got that picture. Going to be without Kevin Durant tonight. So I just can't trust the Suns when they have two out of the big three. Like, if you have two out of the big three, I at least need KD to be one of them. So combination of that, and then this is a playoff revenge situation, I believe, for the Clippers. Clippers have been playing good basketball. They've covered 7 of their last 10 games. And when I just look at it matchup-wise, like, the Clippers have guys who they can put on the opposing team's best players and make life tough for them. I don't really see a whole lot of people making life tough for anybody, for as far as Phoenix defenders for the Clippers team tonight. So I have to look towards the Clippers. It does make me feel like, how it opened up, it's a little bit too easy. But I do, if I have to put my money on it, I think the Clippers get the job done tonight.
Yeah, it's kind of hard, RC. I mean, looking for spots maybe where they're going to get overvalued, but I mean, no Durant. I mean, Booker and Beal aren't anything to laugh at, but really, with how good they're playing here, how do you see this going down tonight?
Yeah, I think one way that I want to tackle this is actually towards the team total of the Clippers instead of the spread. One thing that I looked at, I know Skee mentioned Durant out. For some reason, with Durant out of the lineup, they're 4-1 against the spread. So I kind of want to stay away from that. But one thing that I want to take advantage of is the fact that the Suns, they look like a better defensive team the last 2 games. But if you look at who they played the Magic. They had to travel across the country right before the new year. Then they played a Blazers team who missed some key players. Anthony Simons was out. I think Aiden was out as well that game. So both of those teams went under their team total by a huge margin. But I don't think the Suns defense is that great, in my opinion. Some of the things that I look at on the Clippers side, if you split it between the first 15 games and then the rest of them with Harden, they're just a drastically different team. I think the first 15 games of the season with James Harden in the lineup, they went over their team total just 3 times. In the last 12, they went over their team total in 8 of the last 12. They're just a much more balanced team. Some of the things that I saw that were different was they score about 5 more points per game in the paint, and they make 2 more threes per game with Harden in the lineup. He just creates that space for that team. And, after the first 15 games, they started to gel, and that's where they're clicking right now is really on the offensive side of the ball. So for me, if you look at trends as well, Clippers 6-0 straight up in the last 6 road games as favorites. They covered 5 of them, went over their team total in 5 of them. For me, I think the team total is the way to go here. I think the Clippers get up and over that number.
Ooh, all right. Expecting little points here, maybe some value on the team total. Rob Vino, what do you think about this this Clippers team here? You trust them on the road?
Well, Ronald said a lot of stuff that I totally agree with, starting with his team total over and then ending with the fact that the Clippers as a road favorite, Joe, have been good. He mentioned 6-0 straight up. 5 of those are straight against the spread wins. And that's a kind of a situation where we couldn't trust the Clippers before on the road laying points. Skee made a good point about when you have the big three, if you're only going to have two, one of them has to be Kevin Durant. It can't really be Booker and Beal, not for me at least. It doesn't give them enough interior play. Not that Durant's a great inside force, but the 7-foot length certainly is more helpful than having two guards. So, a lot of the fundamental matchups point to Clippers. They've got a day of rest here. And if I just look at Phoenix real quick at home this year, and again, they've been banged up like they are tonight without Durant, but they're 5-13-1 against the spread at home. That's horrendous. But they do go over at home, 12-6, which again points me toward Ronald's play of Clippers team total over. There actually is a home underdog 0-2, losing the games by 8 points per game. It's hard to say anything here to back Phoenix, which, it's the NBA. Phoenix probably go out and win by 20. But if I'm just using what I see in front of me, it's hard to play the Suns right now, Joe. I'd have to look Clippers.
All right, got to look at the Clippers. There you go, guys. We got more games here we're going to break down for you in just a second. Quick reminder, it is a new year, new opportunity here for you to partner up, of course, in celebration of the calendar turning to 2024. Can't believe that here. But how about an extra week on a 30-day all-access package? That's what you're going to get, 37 days of all access from your favorite handicapper at WagerTalk.com. Available, no coupon needed. Just visit Skee, visit RC, Ronald Kabang, as well as Rob Vino. Take advantage, partner up with these guys here. Get 37 days, all access, every sport, every play here, guys. Hell of a way to start off the 2024 season. All right, we have got a total that we are going to focus on now here, and I'll give you 3 guesses as to where in the hell it is we're going to look. Oh, yeah, there you go. Look at that. Milwaukee taking on Indiana. Why? Because give me a break. Here it is, 257 points. I think it was 258 early this morning. Looks like some people were like, wait a minute, did they even hit that last time? Can we trust them? Of all things not to move here, Skee, the damn total is still stuck at 257.5. So usually by this point, we already would have been over the 260 mark. What do you do here? Is it just over or pass? Or is there any value with these two teams? And maybe for the 18th time they playing, maybe they finally figured something out against one another. Uh-oh. Is this the part of the conversation where I lip read?
Oh, my bad.
Oh, there you go.
Now, it was a good point by you. When you see a team so many times, I mean, it just makes me think about the playoffs too. Like you start to see those games later in the series go under. They're pretty familiar with each other. They know exactly what each other wants to do. And from the Bucks' perspective, it's interesting to me that they're number 3 defending the 3, because I don't view them as a very good team defending the perimeter. Like as far as their backcourt, Lillard and Beasley, if they're playing man, I don't see them stopping a whole lot of guys. That's why I've seen them versus team go to zone quite a bit of time. So I can see them trying that mixed in tonight. And if they do, it should slow the game down for a Pacers team who is already playing a little bit slower than we're used to for them lately. So I think I would lean a little bit more towards the under for this game.
All right, so we got maybe a little look for the under here. I mean, at some point, we got to draw the line in the sand here, RC. No, with these two teams, I mean, what's the point if you play each other so well? You got to be able to accidentally get in the way and maybe prevent them from scoring a couple of buckets here or there. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, I can only look towards the under in this one as well. I think Skee mentioned some things about seeing each other so many times. I mean, especially after the whole game ball situation, I feel like these two teams don't really like each other, and that brings that playoff atmosphere type to element to the game. And usually those are under type games. If you just look at recent form too, if you look at the Pacers, they've actually gone under in 5 of their last 6 games. Their pace has slowed down. Their defense has actually been solid. They limited their 6 of their last 7 opponents under their team total. If you look on the Bucks side, they've gone under as well in 4 of their last 6. So current form says under. If you look at like long-term trends historically, it's actually been profitable to take the under in this specific situation that these two teams are in today. I look back since 2017 when two teams played each other twice in a row in the regular season, not excluding the playoffs. In the if the favorite lost the first game outright as a favorite, the under actually hits at a 61.1% rate. That's 44, 28, and 2 to the under. But if you dive deeper into that same exact trend, you just add a couple things so that the favorite is on the road, and then they lost the first matchup at home as a favorite. And you can go back even further. The under actually hits at a 79.6% rate. It's not a huge sample size. They don't do it often. They have done it a little bit more recent years, these back-to-backs against each other. But so, for me, looking at current form, looking at long-term trends, they all pretty much align on the under on this one.
Under it is. Rob Vino, I know it gives you hives here thinking about having to bet an under here tonight, especially with these two teams. But what are you thinking, man? Is it over or not for you, or do you agree maybe we got to stop getting crazy here with these numbers?
Yeah, this number again, Joe, they can't find a way to climb over this. They really can't. They've played 4 times this year. Again, I'm being a little bit repetitive, but 3 of the 4 times it hasn't come close. The only time it did go over, Milwaukee won. And Milwaukee scored big, 140 in that game. I think it was 266 total. But the culprit here, and for those who play player props, the culprit here is Damian Lillard. 3 for 16 in his last game. He scored 20 points or less in 3 of their last 5 overall. But against this particular team, he's been held under his season average 3 of the 4 games. Just hasn't played well point production wise. And boy, if I'm to look at a player prop, Joe, he's sitting at 26.5 points tonight, 34.5 points and assists. If I were playing him, I may look his way to bounce back here because that's a veteran guard who hasn't really done his part in this series. And Ronald and Skee talked about the looks that they've had at each other and maybe the dislike that they have for each other. So you got to step up if you're him. Giannis is absolutely destroying this team, could use Lillard's help. I did look, and I didn't play the game, but I did look at Bucks team total over 130.5. The Pacers have been very consistent in this 4-game series so far. They're between 122 and 127 every single time. It's the Bucks that have been erratic. I just think, the last time the Bucks won, I think we're all on together, and it was when the Bucks were angry and they went out and scored 140. And I just get the feeling, even though they're on the road here, I don't think road makes a difference to them, that they're a little bit angry and that we'll see a lot of points out of them. So slight lean toward Buck team total over, slight lean toward Damian Lillard as a player prop over 26.5 points.
All right, there you go. A little something in that game here tonight. Should be fun either way here when those two teams get together. That means we got a whole lot of games. We got a whole lot of dogs that could very well be barking. So let us take a look here, Robert. What are the dogs to choose from here tonight?
That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. And anybody got to say anything, you let me know. That's my dog.
All right, let's take a look here. The dogs tonight include the Pacers, the Hawks, the Pelicans, the Bulls, the Suns, the Magic. We got the Wizards, Raptors, Nets, Pistons, Heat, and Blazers. All possible barking dogs here tonight. But Skee, damn, that's a lot of dogs here. Where might you be looking on this card for a barking dog?
I will go with the second largest dog, which will be the Wizards plus 9.5. And I mean, who are the Cavaliers to be laying this big of a number? That's the first thing I'm thinking here. For one, they're at a rest disadvantage. Wizards 2 days compared to 1 for Cleveland. And they've won by this margin like once, all the way back to like around December 10th, 11th, something like that. They're just not the kind of team I expect to win by this margin. To win by, double digits, you have to be, in my mind, you have to be able to do a couple things well, which is shoot the three well, defend the three well. Cleveland is bottom 5 shooting the three, and they're not, in the top 10 defending it either. So the Wizards rest advantage, and I believe this is their role. For one, they're playing a little bit better lately. They've covered 6 out of their last 9 games, and 11-6-1 as a road dog. I'd have to grab the Wizards plus the 9.5 points in this game.
Oh, well, Wizards it is. Not a bad look here. I agree with you. How about you, RC? A lot of options here for a dog tonight. Which one you looking at?
Yeah, I want to go back to the contrarian God play. I do like the Bulls there. I actually took the Bulls plus 9.5, so that's something that I got for the clients. But the things that I mentioned, right? I think that the Bulls are actually a better defensive team, especially current form. I don't mind fading the Knicks on the second game with OG. I feel like some of the numbers that I looked at from the game against the Wolves, I just feel like that this line is kind of inflated a little bit. Like I said, I think my model has it closer to 6.5 to 7, and the number went the wrong way in my opinion. So I like the Bulls to stick around the 9.5 or the 9 points.
All right, liking the Bulls here to get it done. How about you, Robbie? Some interesting spots here tonight for some of these teams. What are you thinking?
Yeah, this one is going to be hold your nose and pray for the home team, Joe. I'm going to go situational here without any really hard statistics to back it up, just a gut feel, a situational play on the Atlanta Hawks at home, plus the point here against Oklahoma City, who really got extended last night by the Boston Celtics in a huge game for OKC. I mean, they're starting to establish themselves as a serious contender in the West. Last night's win helped establish that, 127-123. Boston made it tough at the end. But now you got to go back to back. And again, we've talked about Oklahoma City in back to backs before. They are a deep team. They have fresh legs. They're the type of team that can do it. But I just feel like Atlanta will run them tonight. And at some point in the second half, fatigue may show for the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's been a really good season for them so far. But I do think there's been some challenges in the last couple of weeks that maybe fatigue does show up mid-third through the fourth. So I'm going to take Atlanta, and hopefully they shoot it well here tonight, because there's not a lot of things I can tell you, Joe, that Atlanta's done well, but I do like the spot they're in. So we're going to take the Hawks plus the point at home.
All right, Hawks, it is here tonight. It's the only place really to bet them ever again, it seems like. All right, Hawks, it is. So that means we've got 3 best bets coming your way. And once again, quick suggestion, if you are new to us here at WagerTalk, welcome in. Thank you so much for hanging with us. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button, become part of the WagerTalk TV family, and hit that thumbs up, the like button. Those of you joining us on the live broadcast, we appreciate you. Hit that thumbs up. But nobody's got more daily and weekly content of all the big matchups across all the sports than we do. So check it out. We invite you to become part of the WagerTalk TV family. All right, here's how it rolls. We throw 60 seconds on the clock. These guys can do whatever the hell they want with it as long as they give us a best bet. So, Skee, start us off, man. 60 seconds. Where is the best bet located tonight?
Yeah, I'll talk a little bit more about that overtime play, Milwaukee and Indiana. And I do like the under. I always say, that if you know under. These teams just played the other day on New Year's. That total was about 261 and a half. It went way underneath that. I think it was in the 230s, and they had to reopen this one a little bit lower, 258, and it's down to 257. That's the odds makers telling you that they expect it to be a lower scoring game. And the Pacers, like I said earlier, they haven't been their usual fast-paced, high-scoring selves, and they've been playing a little bit better defense. They've gone under 5 of their last 6 games, and just looking at Milwaukee, after losing that last game, I'm sure they're embarrassed to be getting dominated by this team all season long, and I'm sure they'll want to give it to them here in this matchup. I think that starts on the defensive end. I think they'll mix in some of that zone, and that should equal a slower pace, lower scoring game. So Bucks, Pacers, under.
Boom! Bucks, Pacers. Under here tonight. Skee is rolling that way. That means RC. We're going to throw 60 seconds on the clock here, my man. I know this is a big card here tonight. Where did you narrow it down for a best bet for us?
Yeah, I'm gonna look towards the Wolves tonight. The Wolves and the Pelicans. They've faced each other 3 times so far this season already. Game one, the Wolves won and covered. Game two, they won but didn't cover. But it was the Wolves' last game of a 5-game road trip, and they were playing. They were coming off of a back-to-back games. I think it was the Warriors and the Suns, I believe. So it was a fatigue spot there. Then the third matchup, Pelicans actually won outright. The Wolves there, they were without Anthony Edwards, and the Pelicans had 3 days of rest and were at home as well. So some situational things there that kind of pointed towards the Pelicans in that one. If you look towards the road second leg of back-to-back situation for the Pelicans here, twice so far this season, 0-2 straight up and against the spread in that spot. They were actually favorites and lost outright to the Jazz and the Bulls. Wolves, they've been dominant at home this season, 14-1 straight up. But if you add that their opponent is unrested, 6-0 straight up, and none of those wins were less than 7 points. So give me the Wolves tonight, minus the 6 points.
Boom! T-Wolves getting back on track here tonight at home. All right, 2 down. We got 1 more to go. And Rob Vino, best for last. You hinted at this game earlier for a best bet, so tell us how you're approaching it.
I'm going to go back to the Bulls Knicks, and I'm going to play the Bulls team total over 105.5 because I see a little bit of value there. Now, the luster's kind of worn off of this, right? Billy Donovan told us a few weeks back that he wanted more possessions per 48 minutes, started to get it out of the Bulls. They went over this particular team total of 105.5 in 11 straight games. Since then, the last 5 games, they're 1-4 under this number. Now, a couple of those were 104 and 105 exactly, so they've been close. And they were close shooting miserably from 3. How about these numbers, Joe, including last night's 18.9% from 3-point range, which was their season worst. But prior to that, 2 games ago, 28%, 25.9, 28, and 22.9. They're not that bad of a 3-point shooting team, but they've been miserable 5 games in a row. I love bounce backs. I don't think the Knicks play a lot of defense. I think Skee said that as well earlier. I'm going to take the Bulls to get to 106 here. So give me the Bulls team total over 105.5.
Boom! Love it. All right. Couple of opportunities here, guys, to jump in on a great card tonight. Once again, T-Wolves laying the 6 for RC. Skee going with that under tonight, Milwaukee and Indiana, 258, while Rob Vino says that Bulls team total looking good at 105.5. Also looking good over at WagerTalk.com. The ability to hop on board, a new year, new opportunity, 37 days of all access with your favorite handicapper, whether it be Ski Profit, Ronald Kabang, or Rob Vino. No coupon needed. Visit these guys now over on their pages at WagerTalk.com. Plenty of action all week long here, whether it be NBA, college hoops, week 18 of the NFL. We got a national championship game coming out, NHL, much, and I mean much going on here. So never too late to kick off the year in a profitable manner. And it starts by visiting these guys over at WagerTalk.com. We'll be back again tomorrow with another NBA tip-off show. But before you leave us, go ahead and click on that video on your screen right now. Like we said, all the big matchups coming up, not just today, but all week long are just a click away. Check out all the best bets and game previews we have here at Wager Talk TV. Until we see you again, best of luck with your plays. We'll talk again soon.